Hello, Lauren Barker here. It is May 29, 2003, and I'm going to walk through a process to review and contribute edits to our translated content on the buyer experience repository. And I will go ahead and share my screen so we can get started here. We're going to start off on our nice epic here where we've created issues for all of the pieces of content that need to be reviewed by human translators because it's all been machine translated. And for the demonstration of this video, we're going to work with the Japanese enterprise page. So if I go in here, I'm looking at this issue. Let's say I'm the internal translator. I assign the issue to myself. And I know that Daniel has some labels set up. So let's do L10N assigned. So this way we can see that it's assigned. And for our iteration, let's go to buyer experience and we'll pick the iteration at which we're working on this issue, which is May 8th through the 21st. We'll give it a waypoint 1. And so now this issue is ready to be worked on. There are 4 steps to each of these issues. It's a good idea to read over them because some may be different than others. But for this one, we'll state what the goal is, which is to review the machine translation of our Japanese enterprise page. We'll link to this page, which is live. And then the 4 steps, which is to review the live version, and then open the content file that generates that live version, make edits as you see fit as the translator, and then to verify your edits are live on production as intended. And if there are things that cannot be done through that content file, let's say there's an image with English text in it, to make a thread down here, such as, and we can actually go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go ahead and open this Japanese enterprise page, come down here and, oh, cool. They translated the text bubbles. Well, that's cool. That just happened. But an example would have been last week, hey, take a screenshot of that sucker, come down here, drag the thing in here and say, these speech bubbles are not translated. And that will create a thread that we can then address later. In this case, it is translated, so that's just for demonstration purposes. So we've done the first step. We've reviewed the live page. So now we're going to go and make edits to the content file. And we have direct linked all of the files to be edited in each issue. So I can come in here and just, let's say, open link a new tab. And what this is going to do, it's going to take you to the YAML file where this content is stored. And it's a nice YAML file. And let's say for the demonstration purchases here, we want to change in the sub-hero this title to be something other than DevSecOps. So we're going to smash that, open in Web IDE, blue button, super cool button. And this will bring up that file in a Web IDE, and we can see here in our Solutions Hero, subtitle DevSecOps. And I'm going to say demo text update in all caps. Now that would be not that, but you get the idea. You go through this whole file, make all the edits that you want, and we're going to click on this little button over here. Commit message. I'm going to say demo text update. There we go. And commit and push. We want to commit to a new branch. Yes, we do. It'll give you a branch name. That's good enough. And then the big part This little window is going to come up here. There's going to be an orange button that says create MR. Click on that button. And it's going to take you to this beautiful new merge request screen. And this is where all the magic happens. And in this merge request screen, we're going to have a new template coming soon to you for language edits. But for the purpose of this video, we'll just do the digital experience template because I know it's less. And up here, we're going to say what changed and why. I mean, not that, but you get the idea. And then come back here to the issue, copy that issue URL, go to the new merge request, say closes, just link that issue right there, assign that MR to yourself, super important, so that way it doesn't get lost in the GitLab ecosphere. And labels here, let's do L10 and we'll say in progress because localization has been in progress, and then we'll smash that blue merge request button. And this is going to create the branch. It's going to start a pipeline, which will enable us to view our changes in a review app. And the coolest of all, we can go to our changes tab and it will show you exactly what changed in this MR. And we can see here is my edit that I made, which is super cool. And we can see my commit. So let's say you want to do one pass through where you change one phrase to something else. Say that in your commit. You want to do another pass where you change a different phrase to something else. You do that in a commit, and you can just start to build on your review through commits. So that creates this MR, and it's going and it's assigned. How do I go back to this MR? Well, we come back to see the issue here. We can see we have quite a few demo MRs that are now linked to this issue, which makes it really easy to go and find all the MRs. That's why we want to link them. How do you find this issue? So you come up here to this top little toolbar. The farthest one to the left, these will be all the issues that are assigned to you. Japanese enterprise human page, human translation, there's that issue. This middle one right here, if I go to assign, I can see all the MRs that are assigned to myself. Super quick way to get to them. And so here's this one that we just did, demo text update. Pipeline's still running. I'm going to go ahead and go to a previous MR that me and Daniel did earlier where the pipeline has run, so I can show you that review app. It's the coolest. Pipelines run. If I go to the changes, you can see, okay, here are the changes that have been made. This content file directory is also what the URL will be. So JAJP-enterprise/ cut off the YAML part. So you can just copy that name right there. Click on this button, the view app button. It's the coolest. And this takes you to a whole staging of the entire marketing site, but with your changes from that merge request. And let's say I want to find where our changes are. I can just paste that path in there. I know that YAML isn't going to go. I just replace with a slash. And why didn't it work? Let's JAJP. There we go. And JAJP enterprise. I don't know what happened there, but just manually type in, it works. And now we can see here are my edits that I made. And you can go and review them as they would be if this MR goes live. And so this is like a great QA check, not only for you as the reviewer of the translation, but then also these data structures, you know, if something's off, period gets off somewhere, like it's good to have an engineer come in and review those as well. What else? So this is good. We'll come back here. So the final step, let's say this MR is good to go. It gets approved by the reviewer, which will either be Daniel or your team, and then someone on digital experience. It gets approved, and then, you know, make sure it doesn't have the draft on it. Mark is ready. Merge. I'm not going to merge it. That would not be good. I'm going to actually go ahead and put the draft back on so that we know not to merge it. But that, if you do smash that merge button, then this pipeline runs, gets merged into main, and your edits go live on production. So the final step before you click this off, well, actually that does that. The third step, verify your edits are live on production, would mean waiting for that pipeline to pass, going back to the live page and saying, oh, there's my edits. They're there and they're as intended. So then you can click that one and then create issues for the threads that could not be edited in there, such as this. And then you can just close that issue, or if there are threads that are unresolved, we'll create new issues to work from that. But that for this first pass at building the localized marketing site will be the efficient way for us to get to the first iteration. And then from there, we're going to build more automated processes. But as you can see, we have quite a few issues for the team to work through, and I'm looking forward to seeing the translators assign and starting to work through those and see those MRs come through. All right, see you later.